my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video I'm going to be putting 4 eye looks together with a newer palette in my collection, the Natasha Denona Roxa palette. Now you're going to hear people calling it the ROW-SHA palette, which is actually not correct. ROW-SHA is Portuguese for purple, and it's actually pronounced ROW-SHA, and I'm probably butchering that, but it's definitely not ROW-SHA. So now let's look at the color story together. Purples and pinks, gorgeous in my opinion. Now I was given this palette as an early Christmas gift, and I had a goal in mind in creating 4 looks with this. And I got this goal based on the criticisms I had heard about this palette. Number 1, that it's not purple enough. Okay. Number 2, that it's boring. Number 3, that all the looks that you would put together are going to look very similar to each other. So I thought, okay, I want to do the opposite of that. I want to show that, or I want to try to show with my looks that there is enough purple in this palette, that you can do more than just one thing with it. It's not just a one-trick pony. And just to kind of, you know, think outside of the box and do some really fun stuff with this. And at the end of the video, you can let me know in the comment section if you think I did those things or not. Now, a lot of people will go into the shade names, the textures of the shades, and also do swatches. And I'm not going to be doing that because this is going to be a really long video, 4 looks, right? So in the interest of time, I'm not going to do that. But what I will do is in the description box, I will put in all the shade names from this part of the palette, or this side of the palette on down. And then I'll go to this row and then this row. And I'll also list what type of formula the shade is, because there's a lot of different stuff going on in here. But I am thrilled to be putting this video together for you guys. And I'm really interested to hear or read what you guys think of the 4 looks that I put together, and if I accomplished my missions of doing the opposite of what I had heard people saying in their videos using the Natasha Denona Roxa palette. So without any further ado, let's get into these 4 looks. Okay, so let's dive into the ROW-SHA palette from Natasha Denona. I love the outer packaging, but I will say that it shows my fingerprints. So I'm trying not to touch it at all, but you have to touch it to open it. Okay, so for this look, I really want to layer one of the shimmers over the top of a darker matte. So what I think I'm going to do is use Jacaranda across the mobile lid. I'm going to use Velour in the transition area. I might put a little bit of Sweet Pea around the edge of that too. We'll see. I may not need to do that. Just depends on how I think things are looking. And then I want to put Bolt over the shade here. I don't know. I don't always love these types of like marbled shades, but you know, I'm going to give it a shot, see what I think. So let's go into Velour, that lighter purple matte, and put that in the transition area. I do have both brows done in my clear brow gel from NYX Control Freak. And then this eyelid is primed in the Juvia's Place Prep Prime eyeshadow primer. I have been so excited to play with this eyeshadow palette since it arrived. I'm just like, oh, I gotta sit down and do this. My goal was to film look 1 last week. Last Friday, and I was just too tired. Just too tired. And I thought and honestly, you know, like I've never really been the person who has to get the brand new palette and film with it immediately. I mean, have I done that before? I mean, I'm sure I've done that before, but typically my videos with newer palettes come up way later than most people's do, and whatever, that's fine. I don't really care about that. You know what I mean? Of course, I do want people to watch my content, yes, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, well, I'm not going to like, you know, sacrifice sleep or anything else to film a video no matter what's going on with the palette when it was released. I don't care, you know, I'm just like, I'll do it when I have time. And this morning I had time. Plus, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do with it. Like, I have an idea now of what I'm going to be doing. So, because there's so many beautiful shades in here, and I like I mentioned in the intro, I'm assuming that's my plan anyways, to mention this in the intro. I really wanted to try to do different things than what I have seen done with it so far. Not that I am super creative in that way, because I'm really not. And I haven't watched every single video of folks creating looks with this palette, but I feel like I have something on my nose. But I also like the negative stuff I've heard about the palette is that, you know, all the looks are the same and you can't do anything really diverse with this palette. I'm thinking, I want to show that maybe you can. And maybe I'm going to prove myself totally wrong here. But that's my goal, is to try to, like, you know, just do different stuff with it. And, you know, the thing is that when you have a more monochromatic palette, that's not always the easiest thing to do, because, you know, it's more monochromatic. When you have a multicolored palette, of course, it's a lot easier to do more things with it, have your looks more diverse. So anyway, when I hear people complaining about a color story, it does make me kind of go, but you saw the color story, right? Not to say that, like, I haven't always loved, or that I have always loved the color stories that I chose. And that's not true. I mean, I got it and I was like, I don't know about this color story now. But it doesn't mean I didn't see the color story before I purchased the palette. I think the thing that can be tricky is when pictures of a palette look one way and then you get the palette and you're like, wait a second. That's happened to me a couple times. Okay, I think that's gorgeous. I think it applied beautifully. I like that. I don't think I'm going to need the Sweet Pea shade. I think it blended nicely around the outer edge. Love it. So now I'm going to go into Jacaranda and put that across my mobile lid. I can remember I got the Rain palette from Sample Beauty, because I thought it looked so cool on the website, the pictures. It was like, it looked to me like it was like maroon and like olive green. And I was like, oh, that's such a cool color story. So then I get it and it's like terracotta and gold and rust. And I'm like, huh, it's not exactly what it looked like on the website. But, you know, I really like the palette. It's gorgeous and it works really, really well. I just was a little disappointed because the color, or the picture of it, made it look one way, look completely different in person. I also stopped getting Notoriously Morbid palettes for that reason, because I felt like their pictures were so deceiving. So deceiving. And I was like, huh? And like a lot of times, you know, the shimmers would look so multi-chrome in the pictures, and then I would play with them and I'm like, Plus they just kind of have a weirder formula that I don't love. I tried to love it. I really did. Not to say that their palettes are bad. They're not. I don't think they're bad palettes. It's just not a formula that I get along with. It's really flaky, really brittle. Like their shimmers are really brittle. Like you barely touch them and they just kind of fall apart, you know? And then some of their mattes were so dusty. I was like, yikes. But you know, I do think that they create beautiful palettes. I do. They're just not for me. You know, just not my jam. And I'm liking this so far too. This is a nice shade. Is it patchy though? No, I don't think it's patchy. And I think it could just be, this isn't the greatest brush in the world. Okay. Just a cheap little flat brush that I got. I don't even know where. I think it just came in maybe like a BoxyCharm or an Ipsy or something. I think I got a little set in Ipsy, and you know, it's working. It's just, I think I have other brushes I probably should have grabbed instead of this one, but that's okay. This is working. It's fine. And I'm covering it up, so it doesn't really matter if it's quote unquote patchy, but I don't think it is. I don't. I'm just going to continue to take this up here just a little bit more over my natural crease in my eye, just because I do want the darker purple to show a little bit around the edge of the shimmer. I also do not want to, I mean, I might in some of the looks, a couple of the looks, well, I don't know how many I'm going to do yet. I might put a couple shimmers next to each other, of course, but a lot of these shimmer shades, they're kind of close in tone. So, you know, that's, I don't know, if I do that, I'm going to try to grab ones that aren't very similar. Like, for instance, these two look kind of similar to me. I mean, this has more of a flip to it than that one. these two, I don't know. We'll see as I play with them. But I just, you know, I really want to give each shadow its moment and not like lose the shadows by putting them next to each other. I saw that in a couple of the videos I watched, folks putting very similar shimmer colors right next to each other and then like complaining that they looked exactly the same. And I'm like, well, they're similar. So, and I think if you put them right next to each other and they have to kind of compete with one another, and they're light in tone, you can kind of lose them if they're right next to each other. Okay, I think that's blended pretty well. I'll probably continue to mess with that like I always do. So now I'm going to go into Bolt, putting that across the purple shade, Jacaranda shade. Okie doke. Now this, of course, is that kind of, oops, I have a cat hair flying around, kind of variegated shade. So I'm just kind of like, I'm not going to lift up the palette, just kind of pressing it into the shadow, kind of swiping it a little bit. And I think I will spray this just a skosh. And I do think that this particular shade might work better with a finger. So we'll see. Okay, let's put this down. Ooh. Oh, that's got a really nice sparkle to it. That's beautiful. Although I do think this is going to work much better with the finger. I really do. I do just kind of want to get this part of the lid done with the brush because it's, you know, I don't want to make a big mess with my finger, but yeah, definitely going to go with my finger. Yeah, much better. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. I was getting a little disappointed. I mean, not, you know, it's not a huge deal, but oh, that is gorgeous. It looks wet. That's really pretty. Yeah, that's gorgeous. Okay. And it's got a you know, like, there's that kind of like, I'm kind of making a mess out of it now, which is fine, but it's kind of got that bluey silver and then the purple, and you can definitely see the bluey silver and the purple. That's gorgeous. I do kind of feel like, is there a hard overspray over the top of this? I think so, because I kind of dug deeper into the shadow and now it's really coating the brush. Okay, cool. Love that. All right, because I do want to have it, you know, kind of blow it up here, and it's easier sometimes for me to do that with a brush. Oh yeah, this is stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I love it. I love the kind of subtle blue that I'm getting, you know, from the shade. It's really pretty. And it looks wet on my lid. That is so cool. I love it. So fun. God, that's gorgeous. And once I kind of got through the hard exterior of the shadow, and kind of got into the like underneath that, it's working really well on the brush. That's awesome. Okay, cool. I'm just going to add a little bit more just to make sure it's nice and opaque on my lid. And, you know, honestly, I don't even know that I needed to put the purple matte underneath of it, but I kind of felt like it might be more of like a toppery shade. I don't know that it is. I'm going to go back into Jacaranda. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell with shimmers if something's a topper or not, and I don't really ever go by the description of the shadows because I'm just like, oh, I'll figure it out, you know, because sometimes I don't always agree with the description, you know. And I usually can get topper shades to work pretty well by themselves, you know, on their own, for sure. And I really do like to layer shimmers over the top of mattes. I've done that. I do that quite often, and I really enjoy doing that because I just think it looks so cool. What I really want to do at some point too, and I might do it for this video, I don't know yet, is I really want to get like a black base and put a couple of the shimmers over the top of the black base. I think that would look amazing. The problem with that is that I do have, well, I don't know that I have any pot gel black liners. I don't know. I think that'd be the easiest to do that with. I do have a jumbo NYX pencil in black bean, I think it's called. I could try that too, but I want the shape to be very precise. So I don't know, I'll think about it. Okay, I love that. And I love that I did not have to add this shade to make that light, you know. I think it just performs so well. So I'm going to go off camera, clean up a little bit of fallout, do my other eye, the rest of my face, and I will be back. So this is the finished look, and I really like it. I think I got a very beautiful purple monochromatic look out of the palette, which is what I was going for today. So let me show you everything I have on my face. I'll talk to you about the palette again and then move on to the next look. Okay, so I know I've shown this in a lot of videos recently. These are the two base products I've been using religiously lately. This is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator in medium, and this is the Maybelline New York Dream BB Fresh BB Cream in medium. And then I also use my CoverGirl Clean Professional Loose Setting Powder in translucent. For my bronzer, I'm using my Maybelline New York City Bronzer in the shade 200. This, of course, is in my Def Leppard panning project. For my blush today, I use the Blame It on the Blush blush palette from Made by Mama Mitchell. And I use this shade right here called For the Lovers, this light purple. I could have even gone in more. I was a little light-handed with it just because sometimes with, I don't know, these shades, I just get a little nervous. But I really like the blush tone. I think it looks really pretty with my eye look. For my upper lid liner, Wet n Wild Waterproof Breakup Proof Felt Tip Liner in black. Mascara, Maybelline Sky High, of course. On my lips, I used a combination of two things. I used the LaBelle Matte Liquid Lipstick in Vamp Addict that my best friend and sister Steph sent to me quite some time ago. This probably needs to be retired because I can tell it's getting a little old, but I just love the tone of purple. It's that deep purple shade that I just love. And I felt like a deep purple shade would work really well with this eye look because the eye look's a little bit more subtle, I would say, you know, monochromatic. So let's have a dark vampy lip. But I didn't want to just leave that alone. So I grabbed my CoverGirl metallic lipstick in the shade Stop the Press, and I feel like it does add a really pretty metallic sheen. I don't know how well you can see it in the camera, but in person it does look very metallic and very nice. So let's talk about the eyeshadow palette, and it's just such a mess on the front. Geez, because I keep, you know, put my fingers on it. I love how it's like multi-chrome though. That's so cool. It's just my fingerprints. Okay, so for my inner corners, I put this shade here called Stargirl. That is stunning. I've got to figure out a black base because I really want to pop Stargirl over a black base. God, that's going to look cool. And then, of course, I put this shade here called Jacaranda on my lower lash lines with a little, just a little bit of velour. Okay, so what I will say is that this shade is not patchy, it's dry. That's what I noticed when I was putting it on my lower lash lines and also on this lid. It's just a drier matte formula. I don't know if it's my favorite from Natasha Denona. This shade worked so well. I mean, it didn't work poorly. It's just not my favorite formula. It's just a little too dry for my taste. But I mean, it applied fine, it blended fine. So, you know, the performance of it was okay. It's just the consistency of it is just dry. That's it. This, like I said, this shade worked really, really well. This shade is gorgeous. I was really happy that I kind of dug underneath the harder covering of the shade and really got the meat of it. I did kind of make a mess out of the shade. You can't really see the variegation anymore, but who cares? You know, big whoop-de-doo. Oh, also, I put this shade Stargirl on my face as a highlighter. I've been wanting to use an eyeshadow as a highlighter. I mean, who doesn't do that? Me, I've never done that before until today. I'm not kidding. I don't ever remember doing that. And it worked beautifully. So yeah, very impressed with the 3 shades. Right? Well, yeah, 3 shades I used. I mean, it's a simple look, but I do think it's gorgeous. And I love the shimmer shade. I feel like it really brought a lot of like wet metallic look to my eyelids today. So without any further ado, let's get on to the next look. Back for look 2 with the Natasha Denona Roxa palette. Okay, so this is gonna sound kind of weird maybe, but I'm gonna do this today. I'm gonna do an all matte look and put a beautiful shimmer in my inner corners. So what I wanna do is put, let me grab my glasses. Okay, hold on a second. I wanna put this shade in my very outer corner. This is called Eclipse. Then I'm gonna put Jacaranda, I think, next to that. I think I'm also gonna use Cerise, which is French for cherry. I think, pretty sure, if I remember any of my French classes. And then I'm thinking about putting either, I don't know, Heather or Sweet Pea in the front. So four mattes. And then I'm going to use this shade here called Regal in my inner corners. So gorgeous. So freaking gorgeous. And I thought about putting Phoebe in my inner corners first, but then I'm like, no, I want to use a shimmer. I might put both. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And I might use one of the lighter shades too to like blend the edges of the mattes out. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's what I want to do for my look. So of course I do have my brows done in the NYX Control Freak Clear Brow Gel, and then this eyelid is primed in the Juvia's Place Prep Prime Eyeshadow Primer. Okay, so starting off with Eclipse, and I'm just going to start packing that onto my lid. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty. Out here. And just kind of creating the initial shape. Well, yeah, shape. I don't know. Just the placement of the shadow, of course. I don't know about the shape of it yet. That's going to kind of be determined as I continue to lay down the shades. And also, if I'm going to blend it out with anything lighter. I don't know that I will need to. We'll see. We shall see. But this shade is gorgeous. Ooh, and this does not feel as dry as the Jacaranda shade. And I don't know that I'm going to use that one actually. I don't know. I might just use 3 mattes across the lid. That might be a little less. I don't know. You know? Can you read my brain? Can you get into my brain and figure out what I'm thinking? Probably not. Can I? Probably not. I totally like made a self-discovery last night that was not great, okay? Let me tell you what it was. So I've been, you know, being more physically active, swimming and also doing cardio at my local gym, the Y. And I also am like wanting to like just do some strength training as well. When I went in for my annual appointment with my doctor, she said, you know, it's really important as you age that you do some strength training as well. You know, it helps with kind of counteract osteoporosis and lots of other things. I know this looks totally wonky, but I'm just going to leave it. I love that shade. That might be my favorite shade in the palette so far. So rather than going into this shade, because I might put that on my lower lash lines actually, I'm going to hop into Cerise and put that right there. So anyway, I've been trying to be more mindful of my strength training as well. And I haven't really done a lot of like weightlifting or anything like that, but not yet anyway. My plan is to start doing that. But at the gym, when I've gone, all the weights are like taken up by 9,000 people. And I'm just like, I'll wait. So I thought last night, I'm like, oh, you know what I can do? I can do an ab workout. I haven't done an ab workout in forever. And not that I have abs of steel, okay? Because I don't. I don't have abs of steel. I never have. But, you know, decent. You know, I can do sit-ups and stuff. I used to. So I turn on Fitness with PJ, who is a fitness channel which is a fitness channel, whatever, that I absolutely love. She is like in her 50s and she's amazing, right? Super inspirational. And she's got, you know, these great workouts and, you know, she kind of tailors them to different levels. And so, you know, and she's funny and I really like her. Excuse me. I keep getting like, I don't know what in my throat when I talk. So, I thought, oh yeah, I'll turn on one of her ab workouts. And it was like 11-minute workout. It's like 8 different exercises. You know, she goes through each exercise twice. It's great. I could barely frickin' do it. And I used to kick ass with her workouts. I mean, you know, not every single time I did one of her workouts did I kick ass, but I mean, you know, I did pretty damn good, I will say. And last night I was like, like, I don't know where my abs went, but they're certainly not in my body anymore. That's for damn sure. I don't know, man. It was just like, what the hell? I couldn't believe it. Okay, I love that. That's really pretty. Although there is kind of a harsh line. I'm going to leave it like that for now. Come back to it. So towards the front, I think I'm just going to go to the shade here called Heather. Yeah, and that'll look really pretty. Yeah, because I wanted like a darker look, but also I wanted some pink. Yes, I did. So I'm just curious if any of you have ever had that happen to you where you felt like, okay, I got this, you know, some type of physical something, and then you went to, oh, that's pretty, went to go do it, and your body's like, think again, my friend, think again. I just was so stunned by the fact that my body was like, lady, what the hell you think you're doing? But, and you know, the thing is I had a hysterectomy in, what was that, 2022, yeah? And, you know, I've been thinking about it, and I really have not done a lot of ab exercising since I had my surgery. I mean, I had done a little bit here and there, sure, but nothing really to speak of. And boy, did my body let me know or what? Actually, I don't like this brush. I need to find a smaller brush. Hold on, I'll use this one. It's just a little too large for like right here. And I just really like using smaller brushes. Absolutely. And I will say, I mean, I know I've only done the 2 looks, but you know, they're pretty different from each other. So for the folks that are saying, oh, well, the looks look the same, I'm like, well, not if you know what to do. I mean, not that I know what I'm doing. I commonly don't know what I'm doing. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to look at the palette in a different way, and then you can figure it out. It's pretty easy. I mean, I do not have a engineering degree in cosmetics, okay? But if you just start messing around and start thinking out of the box, I mean, not, is this out of the box? I don't know. Just, Erica, shut up. But you know what I mean? You can do different looks with this. Okay, I'm going to go back into Cerise and just add a little bit of that back, and also take it over that harsh line of that purple shade. And you know what else works with that too is my finger, which I might use my finger to apply this. Although, yeah, I think I will. I've never really done that before with mattes, just with shimmers, but let's see what happens. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. My hands are clean. I just don't want that to be super harsh line. And there, you know, there just might be a harsh line, you know, because of the fact that it's pink and then purple. But I just am trying to, and shimmers are a little, well, not a little bit, they're a lot more forgiving when it comes to something like that. You know, you can kind of mush them together a little bit better so there's not quite such a harsh line. And I don't know that I can do that with this. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. I went into the heather shade too with my finger, just to kind of tone out that. That's looking pretty good, that line, but that purple line, phew. Let's go into Eclipse just a teeny bit and see if I can get that, and if not, that's okay. It'll be, you know, it'll be what it'll be. But I don't want to put any shimmer on my lid. I really want to stick with an all matte look. I'm really trying to embrace the all matte looks, you know, even though I don't do them very often. I haven't done one in quite a while. The last one I did was with the P. Louise for a Throwback Thursday, and that was a little while ago. I do like that. I do, however, think I want to go around with something just real gently. And I think what I'm going to use is, that might be kind of, actually, I think that's going to go on my lower lash line. I don't know. I think I will go around with Sweet Pea. Teeny tiny little bit of that. Bitty bit of that. And I don't want a super fluffy brush because I don't want it blown clear up to my eyebrow. So I'm just going to use this. It's fluffy, but it's kind of, I don't know what it is. It's getting pretty frayed, but it works really well. So just a teeny bitty bit, right? And I'm just going to kind of start here and just kind of fluff this just very lightly because I don't want it to screw things up too much. I'm telling you though, these mattes, damn, they're nice. They're really nice. They blend really well. The only one I'm totally madly in love with is the Jacaranda shade. Jacaranda, I can't remember exactly how you pronounce that. But everything else, I mean, and it's fine. It's just a little dry. Shit, I don't like how that looks right there. Hold on. See if I can get that just a very, just calm down. Don't go too far. Because I really don't want to blow that up to my brow, but that looks funky to me now. Oh well, just keep going. We'll see what I can do, right? And take this out around here. That I like. Okay. I might have to go back in a little bit with the Cerise shade and just kind of, because I feel like it made it go dink dink. right there, like a funky little shape or something. And this is shedding, of course. That's what I'm noticing too, is my brushes are starting to shed more. So I probably need to get, dare I say, another brush set. I don't know. I don't know that I need another brush set, but, or just get rid of the ones that are shedding, right? But this brush works really well. I mean, is it working really well right now? I don't know. It is. Kind of. And it did kind of make the edge of this look a little weird. So I'm gonna go back in with this brush and just kind of blur the edge of that a little bit more with this brush, just barely touching my skin with it. Yeah, that looks cool. I like that. Okay. It does look a little like I have a bruise, maybe, which is not really what I was going for, but I just kind of wanted to fuzz the edge of this out a little bit. I just kind of clean this brush off and then just kind of, and you know what I might have to do too, is cheat and use my e.l.f. contour palette just a skosh, just a teeny tiny little bitty bit. I'll see here. Or you know what I could do too? I could pop, yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pop a shimmer under my brow. Okay, cool. That's a great idea. I think that's gonna look nice. I think what I'll do is pop this. This is, what's that shade called? Fangirl under my brow. Just a teeny tiny little bit of this, just to kind of brighten that up. Ooh, yeah, that's okay. Perfect. I love that. Just to add a little bit of something underneath the brow. You know, just thought, ooh, that's pretty. I love that. Okay, cool. That looks awesome. I do want to fix just a little bit right out here because I think it looks a little funky. So I'm going to go do that. My lower lash line, my other eye, rest of my face. I'll come back. So this is finished look number 2, and I absolutely love how this look turned out. Really fun to do an all matte look, throw a little shimmer under the brow in my inner corners. Just love it. I am so excited to continue to play with this palette. I've got some, I think, fun plans for look 3 and look 4. So of course I'm going to talk to you about the palette, show you the palette, and talk to you about it again before I move on to look number 3, but let me show you everything I have on my face for this finished look. I don't know why I continue to show you the same base products. I mean, I'm using them, but you're probably getting sick of seeing them, but yep, those, and then this is the powder that I used, of course. Then for my bronzer, same exact bronzer. Same exact mascara. My blush, I used another blush shade out of the Blame It on the Blursh palette. Blame It on the Blursh palette from Made by Mama Mitchell, or Mama Mitchell. What is it? I don't know. I never get that right. I use this shade right here called Think Pink. I was going to focus on one of the purples again, but I thought, no, go with the pink because you got some pink going on. And love it. It's gorgeous. This is such a wonderful blush palette. I'm so happy that Steph sent this to me for Christmas, either last year or the year before. Time is totally elusive to me. For my upper lid liner, I started off by using this shade from Beauty Creations. This is a pot gel liner in the shade Let's Go Party. And it's just dried out a little bit. And it really wasn't showing up over the front shades here. So I thought, let's grab something else. So I used Lavender Field. And this is really nice. It hasn't dried out at all. I don't understand why some of these dry out and some of them don't. I need to find my Duraline, or maybe just order, buy another little tube of Duraline and kind of like juice that one up. I started off by putting this towards the front and leaving the pink liner towards the back of my lid. And I thought, it just didn't look right to me. So I covered the whole lash line, whatever, in this. Now, I will say it is a little tricky for me sometimes to like my looks when I use a lighter liner than like a black or a dark brown. But I do think it's really pretty, and I'm just, I'll get used to it. It's just taking me a hot minute. Okay, is that it? Oh no, my lippy. I used a liquid lipstick from Menagerie Cosmetics in the shade Hook, Line, and Sinker. And I know I've mentioned this before, but if this brand has a lippy sale on Black Friday, your girl over here is going to go bonkers getting a few more of these, because I really believe that this is the best liquid lipstick formula I have ever put on my lips, and they have some really fun, unique colors too. Okay, so let's talk about the eyeshadow palette and then move on to look number 3. What I did this is the front of this is getting so filthy because of my fingerprints. What I did on my lower lash lines is I put Eclipse and Orchid, and I really like it. really like how it looks. I think they worked really well together. This is a gorgeous shade. Now, the criticism I've heard about Eclipse is that it's brown. No, I don't see any brown in this shade at all. I will say it's a redder purple, and this is, I would say, is a more blue purple, but this is definitely purple. It's not brown. And I really liked putting the pinks with this purple. I think these three shades worked really well together. I do kind of feel like there is a little bit of harsh line between this shade and this shade. And, you know, if I were more skilled in the blending department, maybe I could have not had that look that way. But I really like it. I will say that my eyeshadow a little bit out here looks a little bit kind of bruisish. And I do think you have to be careful with purples that, you know, depending on the application, it can look a little bit like a bruise, which that's not what I'm going for. I don't know, maybe that's not, I don't know. At first I thought that, now I don't know that I truly believe that. I don't know, let me know what you think about that in the comment section. But I am telling you, all the mattes worked beautifully. Really lovely application, no patchiness, they weren't dry. This shade so far has been my least favorite shade out of the palette, but you know, I'm going to continue to play with it. I did put Regal in my inner corners. This is absolutely stunning, very subtle, very soft, but perfect as an inner corner shade, I think. And you know what I was going to do is put this on my face, and I forgot. Maybe I'll do that before I go to work, or not. I don't know. I'm just kind of done. Like, I need to, my stomach's growling. I need to get moving. So I'm thoroughly enjoying playing with this palette and just trying to come up with some different things to do. And so that's my plan for look number 3 and 4. So let's get moving on to look number 3 and 4. So back for look number 3, and I'm going to be doing something very different today that I've never really done before, and I'm hoping that it'll work out. So what I want to do is I want to put a black base down and then use the shimmers in this palette, like an all shimmer look is what I'm thinking. So what I really want to use is I want to use this shade here. This one is called Dixie. Is that right? Gosh, I feel like I should just look at these before I sit down to film, but I never do. Yeah, Dixie. And then I'm thinking of using Brink and Concord. And Flutter's really pretty too. And Stargirl's gorgeous, but I really want to use this, I think. This may be the wrong decision, but that's what I think I'm going to do. And of course, I'll put some mattes on my lower lash lines. I'm not exactly sure which mattes yet. I'm thinking probably this and maybe, or maybe that. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'll obviously figure that out. But for the black base, what I want to use is my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Black Bean. I thought about a couple other things I have in my collection, but I think this is going to work the best. My only concern about using this, though, is that I'm afraid that it might crease a little bit. I have used this as a base before, but just kind of slapped it on my lid and didn't really, you know, I was just showing you guys what some multi-chrome shimmers look like over the top of this. So I didn't like make it super precise and, you know, and I have an idea for how I want to do that today. And it might be different from how you would choose to do this, but I'm going to see if it'll work. And then that's what I'm going to do. I am going to apply my little shadow shields, and I wanted to show you how I like cut these and how I get them all ready, because I just kind of go off camera and do that. And I thought, well, somebody might want to know in case you want to order these. These are super cheap. They come off Amazon, or, you know, I got them off Amazon. But I think you can get them lots of different places. But they have this like little curve, which I don't like. So what I do, and Jan Van helped me with this, what I do is I cut this off. So I just take my little scissors here, and I don't know how well you can see. Well, here, I'll do it like this. And I just cut off the curvy part here, because I want it to be a straight edge here. That's what I'm looking for. And then what I do is I don't need this whole big thing. So I just cut off like this part here, right? This little part here. And then this peels off, and then I stick it on my face. And I know in the look that I kind of did the similar thing, just different base product, for one of my Ladybug Glow, my Castle of Horror Ladybug Glow 2 looks look. I had the shape so off on each eyelid. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more mindful of that today, if I can. If not, they're going to be different shapes. You know, life goes on. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here. And what I want is you know, to create a shape where I have like a little angle coming out here from my eyelid, or from what, you know what I mean, my eye look. Okay, so I think that's okay. I mean, oh, except for my there. I think that's okay. I think if I draw this out like this, I'm thinking like that. Okay, I think that's good. So what I want to do now is I'm going to grab my Black Bean NYX Jumbo eye pencil, and I'm going to use a brush to at least lay the shape down, and then I'm just going to go in and fill it in. I'll probably fill it in off camera just because I'm going to have to like not talk a whole lot. So I do need to find a brush for this. Hang tight, like this. See what I'm doing? Okay, and I'm just going to start the shape, and then again I'm going to go in and fill it in off camera. And the reason why I'm doing it like this is because I want a very crisp edge here, of course. And I could have done it differently, like I could have applied it and used micellar water or whatever, but I didn't want to do that. I just didn't want to do that. I thought, I'm going to make a mess if I do that. And I felt like this, for me, and the way I look at life, would just be easier to do it like this. And I want to bring this out a little bit over here because I want the shape to be seen. And also I'm going to open my eye, because a lot of times what I'll do is I'll do this the whole time with my eye shut, and then you just can't really see what I'm doing here. Okay, so I think this is going to work. This shape, oops, this shape is going to be fine. And this is going to look very weird like this. It's going to look weird for probably a long time. And it might end up looking real weird by the end of this, but whatever. I'm going for it. I just wanted to pop these shimmers over a black base. I thought about putting down a black matte, and I could have done that too, sure. But I just thought, I don't want to do that because I'm afraid I didn't want the shimmers to just kind of fall off. So this is the shape of the look. I'm going to go off camera, fill this whole thing in with the black pencil. Yeah, from NYX, and then I'll come back. So this is the shape. I don't know that I love the shape, but this is the shape. And I am a little nervous if this is going to crease like crazy once I get the shimmers on, but you live and you learn, right? Okay, so when I do looks like this, if you guys have been watching when I've done looks similar to this before, I start inner and go outer. Normally I could do the other way, or well, I usually start with my transition shade, then outer, inner, whatever. So what I'll do is start off by putting Dixie down right there, and then just kind of moving across the lid with the other shimmers. And I'm going to use this brush to do this, and this is just stained. Okay, so going into Dixie, and I'm not going to spray this at first because I don't, well, am I? Actually, I might. And this is kind of a flaky shade. This might not be the best shade to do this with, but I'm going to try it. Okay, I'm going to spray it just a teeny tiny bit because it is kind of, you know, it's like the flakes that, and I can't really use my finger for this because I'm going to make a mess. Okay. Ooh, oh yeah, that's gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to have to kind of be careful here because it's flaky. I don't know how well the flakes are going to smush out over the top of the eye pencil, but that is gorgeous. Yeah, I don't know, man. This may not work out that well because it's really, I didn't realize how flaky this shade was. It's really flaky, which it's fine. It's beautiful. It's just, I don't know how well this is going to work over the top of this because I feel like the flakes are going to get stuck, but maybe not. So far, so good. Okay, I just need to quit being negative. Don't be negative, Erica. It'll be fine. Okay. Oh, that is pretty. And actually, you know what I am going to try to do? I'm going to try to use my finger. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that'll work, I think. I don't know. Keep going here. Oh, that's so shifty and beautiful, though. Okay, the only thing is like I said, those flakes are getting stuck kind of on the pencil. But I'm just going to keep kind of smushing them and playing with them, manipulating them to get them where I want them, I think. Oh, that is absolutely, isn't that beautiful? Can you see the shiftiness of that? Oh, that is so pretty. Okay, keep going here. And I'm gonna be, you know, taking it up clear to the edge of the black marker, black liner, not a black marker, black liner, taking it clear up here so that that doesn't look weird. Oh, that is so beautiful. God, that's gorgeous. Okay, I'm really happy that I stuck with this shade, even though, man, this is kind of making a mess. Yeah, it's very flaky. It's okay. Spraying it's really helping it too. Ooh. But oh, over the top of the black base, this is absolutely stunning. See, this is why I'm glad I have this palette, because, and I'm glad I'm trying things that are different. And I understand that not everybody wants to try things that are different. I don't always try things that are different either. But you can do lots of stuff with palettes that are more monochromatic to make them look just different than, you know, what everyone else is doing with it. Again, I'm not always the best at that. Sure, no, I'm not. But whatever, I'm doing it now. Oh, that is so beautiful. Okay, so I think for now I'm done with that shade. I might add more, but I think for now I'm done. So now what I want to do is put this shade down, and this one is called Blink. And I'm just going to keep using the same brush because I feel like this is a great size, and it's working really well, even though I have a fuzz on my brush now. Okay, so I'm going to spray this a little bit. This is a beautiful pink shimmer shade. This is gorgeous. Okay, so I'm putting this here. Oh, oh my God, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I am gonna be honest and say that I am a little concerned this is gonna crease like crazy, because right there it already feels like it's maybe starting to crease a little bit, but you know, it's okay. Oh, this is so gorgeous. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of like an oil slick on the street. Maybe that sounds weird, but it does, that like iridescent like flippiness. God, this is beautiful. Yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I'm telling you, you want to do something fun with this palette, use black base with the shimmers. Really thinking this looks cool. Yes. Okay, I'm trying to keep that from getting too out of control up there so it looks nice and crisp. But I don't know. I'm doing the greatest job right there. Oh, that is so freaking gorgeous. God, I love it. Okay, I think that's, well, actually, let me add a little bit right down here. And then the tail end, I'm going to use that purple shimmer. And I think any of the shimmers for this type of application with the black base would have been absolutely stunning. So I'm going to clean off the brush, going into this shade here. This is called Concord. Okay, beautiful purple shimmer. And I will say that I like the formulation of Brink and Concord maybe a little better than Dixie. Dixie is beautiful though. It's just the flakier shade that's not always the easiest for me to manipulate. Okay, so let's go into the purple shade now. Ooh, very nice. Very pretty. Oh yeah. It looks kind of similar over the black base though to the pink. Well, no, it's darker. Okay. First I was like, wait, it almost looks like the same color, but it's not. It is definitely purple, and that's definitely pink. I was hoping maybe for a little deeper purple, but you know what? I'm not gonna complain because it is a beautiful shade. This looks so cool. It looks very like space agey to me, you know? I don't know that I love the shape that I made though, but I don't know. It just looks kind of like, but I think usually when I've done stuff like this, once I get everything else done, I like it. Usually. I mean, I'm gonna like it today, but usually I do. And I'm gonna have to use something to kind of clean it up out here just a little bit because it does look a little funky, but that is absolutely stunning. I love how the pink and purple jive together. I do though, when I go back into Brink with my finger and like kind of smush these together just a little better, just because it's looking a little too disjointed maybe right there, or maybe not, I don't know. but I just like to do that. And I was thinking about maybe using a funky eyeliner color, but I don't know that I'm going to do that. I'm going to go back in with Dixie too. I think I'm just going to stick with the traditional black, but I don't know, maybe not. We'll see. Also, over the top of these shimmers, I think my Wet n Wild felt tip liner will work really well. I don't know how well the pot gel liners would work over the top of these shimmers. I'm just adding a little bit more right here because I do feel like it's getting a little funky creasy. This might look real weird at the end of the day, you guys. Real weird. I'll let you know and look for how this turned out. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this off. That's really cool. That right there is looking a little strange because it's got a little weird, but I think that looks absolutely amazing. And also I'm going to take, what I'll do is I'll take this brush once I'm done with this eye and just kind of clean that up a little bit. But isn't that cool looking? I love it. I think it looks awesome. Okay, I'm going to go off camera and do this other eye. Wish me luck, because the last time I did this, it was totally uneven. Wish me luck. I'll be back. So this, of course, is finished look number 3. And I feel like out of all 3 looks I've done so far with this palette, I do think this look is my favorite. I know the shapes are not even. I know they're not. They are more even, though, I will say, than the last time I did something like this with the Ladybug Glow Castle of Horror palette. That was really, really, really uneven. I think like this shape's a little bit more like elongated. This one's a little bit more cut off. I don't know. But I really like it. So fun to put this look together. I was hoping I would really enjoy this and it would like translate well. And I do think that it did. And of course, I'll show you the palette again and talk to you about more in depth about the shadows I used for this look, and then move on to look number 4, the final look for this video. So again, the same exact base products, same exact powder, same exact bronzer and mascara. I did use my Wet n Wild waterproof, breakup proof felt tip liner in black. And then on my lips, I used a combination of 2 things. I used the lip icon from Beauty Moon Cosmetics in the shade M10. And I topped it with this gloss. This is the duochromatic from NYX. And I want to say that the shade is Gypsy Dreams, I'm pretty sure. And I don't think I've put these 2 together yet. I've put this with other stuff, but I don't think I've put these 2 together, and I really like it. I love the metallic multi-chrome or duochrome finish that this provides. And I just love this color and how the formula feels on my lips. It's really nice. For my blush, use the Blush palette again from Mama Mitchell. And I use a shade right here called Night and Right, which I've used. Did I use that in look 1? Oh no, but I just thought a purple blush would work well today. I did think about pink and I thought, no, just stick with purple. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about the eyeshadow palette. I will say that it is getting a little creasy towards the front here. It has nothing to do with the palette. It has to do with this. This is just kind of is it oily maybe? It's not the same consistency as like a primer, like my Juvia's Place primer. It's not. It's got a little bit more slickness to it, I would say. I was a little nervous when I first put Dixie down because of the flakiness of the shade. But once I was able to get the flakes kind of smoothed out, I think it's gorgeous. And what is so cool about this shade is that if I'd used like my regular primer, it would have looked very pink like it does in the pan, but over the top of the black base, it shifted to that really pretty like astral blue. Oh, it's so gorgeous. This shade is just stunning. It's pink, but it's got a little bit of like orangey gold flip to it too. I don't know that you can really see the orangey gold over the black base, but the pink is just beautiful. It's gorgeous. And then this is really nice too, Concord. Very beautiful, very metallic, both of these. And this too, I mean, I think this looks like liquid metal. I think it looks like an oil slick. So fun. Love it. And I did use this shade here, Jacaranda, on my lower lash lines. And I will say I liked it better today. It is dry. I mean, yeah. But I liked it better just kind of packing it on my lower lash line. I think that worked well. And then I did blend it out a little bit with velour. I love it. You know what? I didn't put anything in my inner corners. I don't know that I need anything in my inner corners with as much shimmer as I have on my eyelids. I think I'm just going to leave it like this. But really having fun with this palette, and I really am enjoying showing that you can do different things, that your looks are not going to turn out the same every single time. So let's get on to look number 4. So the last look, the fourth and last look for this video anyway, of course, I'm going to keep playing with this palette with the ROW-SHA palette from Natasha Denona. Okay, so I want to do a pink look. I did a purple look, kind of a pink to purple look. Then yesterday was the shifty shimmers that are in here. And now I want to focus on the pink shades. What I think I want to do is use Heather, Cerise, and I also want to use this shade here. Come on in here. This is called Phoebe. I want to use this as a blending out shade. I haven't used this yet. That's the only shade in here I haven't used yet. And what I'm struggling with is if I should put Flutter or Regal on the lid, because I put Regal in my inner corners, and I honestly don't remember if I've used this or not. I cannot remember if I use this shade or not. So you know what? I'm going to stick with Flutter. I'm going to use these two, this, and Flutter. I might even use a little bit of Orchid. We'll see. We'll see. But of course, I do have my brows done with the Control Freak Clear Brow Gel from NYX. And this eyelid is primed, of course, in the Juvia's Place Prep Prime Eyeshadow Primer. Alrighty, so going into Heather first. And of course, this is going to be monochromatic. I'm fine with that. I did a monochromatic look the first time, and then kind of obviously switch things up for look 2 and look 3. So I wanted to dive into the pinks, and I love this shade, Heather. It's so nice. It's that just really just a fantastic formulation. You know, it just applies so easily, and it's like, I don't know, very smooth, just smoothly comes onto the lid. I love that. Love it. And also, this is a great brush, one of my rougher brushes that Janny gave me. So, you know, the combination of the two is working quite well. But I'm telling you, I am really loving this palette. Really loving it. And you know, I can understand why it's not everybody's fave. Totally can understand that. You know, yeah, I get it. But I don't know. One of the main reasons why I was so jazzed to have it is because I really wanted to do content showing that you can do different things with it. You can. But also, the palette is what it is. It's purple and pink. So you're going to get purple and pink looks, right? So yeah, I just think it's gorgeous. I really do. I really am glad that I got it. I mean, most of these shades, of course, I could have duped with stuff I haven't. Well, actually, I don't know that. Purple's side, yeah, maybe not the pink side, but there are some shades in here that I don't have duplicates of in my collection. Absolutely. So, whatever. And also the formulation is really lovely. Really, really lovely. And the Flutter shade that I'll be using, I think it is intended as more of a topper shade, but I'm going to try it on its own because I've been able to use what are considered toppers on their own and have it turn out really nicely in the past, and I'm going to do that right now, or with this look. Okay, I think that's gorgeous, although I have that, you know, weird wonky edge. So I am going to go into Phoebe and just kind of tone that edge down just a little bit. Just very lightly, because I don't want it to like really show up much, and it's not going to because of the shade. You know, this is not one of those shades that you're going to see at all really on my skin tone. It's just going to make it blend. It's just going to blend out the rough edge. That's it. And I do like having shades like that in palettes where, you know, you can just kind of use it to buff out the other shade, but it doesn't really show up much. Just kind of, you know, just provides that light blending property. Okay, I think that blended out really nicely. I love it. Looks really pretty. Okay, so now, of course, I want to deepen up the outer V, so I'm going to go into Cerise and put that in my outer V, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to put Eclipse on my lower lash line. So, you know, add a little bit of non-monochromaticness to the look. Okay, going into Cerise. I also want to encourage you guys, if you haven't watched this yet already, go to Jan Band's channel and watch her recent video. She and her husband Mike did a 80s this or that themed question video. And it's really good, and you guys know how much I love the 80s, because you know it's the best time ever in the history of the world was in the 80s. And Dawn, my dear friend and subscriber, she said, hey, Jan's doing an 80s this or that with her husband. Will you do that on your channel? And I'm like, yes, I will do that. My husband and I will not do it together because he refuses to film with me. He just will not do it. I keep hoping that eventually he'll change his mind, but he's just like, I don't want to be on YouTube. You wanted to be on YouTube, I don't. He's like, I love you and I'll support you and that's wonderful, but I will not film a video with you. And I'm like, yeah, but Jan's husband did. He's like, that's wonderful. And he's watched those videos with me. He's like, they're really fun. Mike seems like a really cool guy. And, you know, Paul thinks Jan's awesome. So, you know, but he's just not into filming with me. So, and I've gotten a little annoyed with him about it, honestly. I'm like, that is horrible. I want you to. You should do it with me. And he's just like, no, I'm not. I don't care what you want. I'm not doing it. He's pretty, I wouldn't say Paul's shy, but kind of. He's just more reserved than I am, you know, not quite as as I am. And so, yeah, it just does not excite him to be on YouTube at all. And he's pretty, yeah, private, I guess. I don't know. He's just not a fan of social media really at all. At all. So yeah, he will never do a video with me, ever. Okay, I love how that deepened up the crease and the outer V. That's gorgeous. I do, of course, want to go back in with Heather just a teeny tiny bit and just kind of, I don't know, make sure that's nicely blended. I don't know that I need to do that because actually those two jive together very well. I mean, you know, very similar in tone, just this one's a little lighter than the other one. But yeah, blended together beautifully. But what I was going to say is I'm going to be doing that 80s this or that video on my channel just by myself. I'm excited. Okay, so now going into Flutter, putting that on my lid. And I'm going to start with the brush and then potentially, oh no, I think it'll be fine on the brush. Okay, I thought maybe I would need to use my finger, but it's not flaky. It's kind of like, maybe a little crumbly. Oh, I gotta be careful with it. Okay, so let's put this right here. Oh, that is so pretty. Oh yeah, this is fine on its own. I mean, yes, it would be beautiful as a topper too. I mean, I could have taken that entire cerise shade across the lid and popped this over the top. I will do that for sure at some point because I think that would look really nice. But no, I think this is fine all by itself. It's beautiful. Yeah. That is so pretty. It's like twinkly and sparkly. I am gonna go with my finger though, just a little bit. Just a little bit, just because I think I can get it more of a impact, more impactful if I do it like this. That is so pretty. Oh, it's very soft and very sparkly. This is very classy shade. Very elegant and very classy shade, I would say. I'm just gonna, you know, really pack it on my lid just to make sure I'm giving it full opacity. But it is a beautiful, very pretty shade. Yeah, and actually I like it. It's fine. It's, you know, I do want to try it as a topper, but this is really nice. I think over the top of like the purple, dark purple mattes too, that'd be beautiful. Oh, why didn't I think of that till now? Oh well. And I'm just kind of taking the edge of this off with the cerise shade. Do I have fuzz? Yeah, I have fuzz on my freaking brush. Of course I do. Okay. And then I'll just go back around one more time with Heather, nothing additional on it, just, you know, make sure it's nicely blended. And then I will grab a little bit more of Phoebe with a different brush. I switched brushes for this because the other one that I had was a little too fluffy. Okay, I am done. That was easy. I'm gonna go clean this up, do my other eye, add the finishing touches, dry my hair, of course. I'll be back. So this, of course, is my fourth and final look for this video, and I really like how this look turned out. I wanted just a soft pink look, adding a little bit of purple on the upper and lower lash lines, and really enjoyed putting this together. Very easy, but very, very pretty, I think. So I'm going to show you the palette again, of course, and give you my final thoughts and feelings about it. And rather than showing you everything I have on my face for this look, because it's the same as the last three looks, I'm just going to show you the things I used that are different. On my lips, I used a lippy from Folklore. This is in the shade Dying Star. Now, I will say that this probably would work better as a topper, but I just wanted something very subtle, very soft, but sparkly pink. And I do think this worked really well. I don't know that I love this. I'm trying to love it, just not quite there yet. I don't know that I ever will be. For my blush, I used the Moira Ombre blush, Moira Cosmetics Ombre blush in Soft Berry. This was tricky to find a blush that would go with my eyeshadow shades, because I don't really have a blush in my collection that's this kind of purpley pink. I thought I did, but I don't. So I tried to grab a cool toned. I don't know that this works, but it's a beautiful blush. Okay, so now let's talk about the eyeshadow palette. Natasha Denona Roxa, and I love the flippiness. I did use Eclipse on my upper and lower lash lines. Love it. Love it. I just can't really use pinks on me because I feel like I look sick, and I don't really love that look on me. On other people, I think it's awesome. On me, I just look sick. I also put this shade here called Regal in my inner corners, and also just a teeny bit underneath my brows. I don't know if I should have necessarily needed to do that. I don't know that I love how it looks, but you know, tried it. I will say, I love this palette. I really do. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I will say that this shade right here is a little dry, like I mentioned. This shade here called Phoebe, don't know that that's 100% necessary in this palette. It did help me blend this shade out. You know, it's nicely, it did a nice job doing that, but you can't really see it, which, you know, okay. And I also don't know how well this is going to show up on deeper skin tones than mine. So I don't know. But other than that, I really love this palette. I think it is beautiful. You know, the criticisms I heard was that it was not purple enough. Okay, it may not be purple enough for some people. Absolutely. Not every palette, not every color story is for everyone. I, though, really like the fact that there are some pink shades in here, which probably sounds weird coming out of my mouth because I used to hate pink eyeshadows. Well, not hate, I was terrified of them because I thought they looked weird on me. But I just developed a love for them. Another criticism I heard is that all the looks look the same. I beg to differ. I was able to create, I think, 4 very different looks with this palette. I just really sat and looked at it and thought about what I could do to have some differences in my looks. And I feel like there's still a ton more I could do with this. I think what I saw a couple folks doing is putting, okay, I do think all the tones in here are different from each other. But I also think when you put 2 light pinks next to each other, they're just going to meld into each other. So don't do that. Don't do that. Do something different. I don't understand why people get upset that all I can create with this is a purple or a pink look. Right. It's purple and pink. Did you think you're going to create green and blue looks with this? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think people sometimes just love to be negative, and that's really popular here. And so they glom onto that and like find everything they can to be wrong with a palette. Not to say that like this is going to work. Like I said, this is not going to work for everyone. No, absolutely not. But to get irritated and angry and frustrated and, you know, yucky about a color story that we can all clearly see just seems really strange to me. But again, the negative videos are so much more popular than the positive ones. We can't ever be positive about anything. We can't ever like or love anything. Sorry, I know I could get on my soapbox about that for days. I just think everything worked in here really well. I know there's different formulations, different types of shadows in here, and I don't ever care about that. I don't care what the brand or brand owner says that the formula is. Okay, great. I just want to see how it performs. And I was thoroughly impressed with how the shadows in here performed. I think the shades in here are gorgeous. I think the shimmers are beautiful. I think the mattes are very nicely formulated and blendable, minus this. It's not, well, it's not It's not that it's not blendable, it's just too dry for me. But, you know, I'm not going to bitch and whine and complain over one shade, and maybe two. The rest of them I think are awesome. I cannot wait to continue to play with this palette because I still see a ton more I could do with it, even though it's a little bit more monochromatic. I still think that a lot of really fun and beautiful things can be done with the palette. I will say though, I do wish maybe that there was some deeper purple in the palette, but I own the Gothic palette from Cosmic Brushes. So what I might do down the road is pair the Cosmic Brushes Gothic palette with the ROW-SHA palette. That'd be really fun. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing that. Okay, so let me know if you have the palette. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know what you think of the looks that I created. And also let me know about the looks that you've created with it so far. What shadows out of the palette do you like to put together? We can go crazy talking about the ROW-SHA palette in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I'd love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video, but in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself, be well, safe, happy, and I will see you soon. Bye!
Drop it.